For our next attraction,
You're listening to the Snowman in the Morning podcast.
Can't wait. Back here on Snowman in the Morning. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, follow us on our social media. The ID you need is SITM 9 to noon. That's SITM, the number 9, TONOON. As we get you ready for the conference championships this weekend, I want to welcome in a fellow radio host that's a big-time Chiefs fan, and we will drop our preview of the AFC Championship right now. This is Steve Willis, a very dear friend, and he joins the program right now. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, man? I appreciate you having me on.
Tell me what the hell happened Sunday, because I can't wrap my I can't wrap my head around the Texans holding a 24-0 lead. I look away from the television. Both my wife and I look away from the television, and it's 28-24. Can you explain that for me, please?
Well, I had to go back and rewatch the game because, as you had mentioned, I'm a very passionate City Chiefs fan. I will put it that way.
Yep.
And I had to go back and rewatch the game because in my emotional swings, I feel like I missed a large portion of exactly how it happened. But I can tell you this. I'm serious. It was like I was running in and out of the room, just like screaming at the top of my lungs every time the Chiefs scored and every play happened that turned things around after that 10-minute mark in the quarter. Now, after going back through it, here was the thing that I saw. At the very beginning of this game, I saw the Chiefs playing very tight. I saw the Chiefs playing very much trying not to screw things up.
Right.
And that is kind of a thing that happens when team comes in. And I had been saying this ever since the line came out that the Texans were a 9.5-point dog.
Yeah.
But you're in the playoffs. These are two playoff caliber teams. The Texans won their way into this game.
Mm-hmm.
How are you making them a 10-point dog? Now, obviously, we found out that they lost by 20. Obviously, being a 10-point dog still wasn't enough.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're Kansas City walking into that game, we are heavy favorites. We're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to up when kickoff starts.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Texans, you're coming in, nobody's giving us a chance. We can come in and play loose. We can lay it all on the line. It doesn't matter. If we lose, we're supposed to lose. But if we win, it'll be a win for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Kansas City, you're walking in going, good God, we can't screw this up. If we do, we're never going to live it down. If we do, it's going to be a blown champ. So they came in, that tentativeness was there. And the moment, I think, and this has been hotly debated, the moment that turned around, but I feel like the moment that things absolutely turned around for Kansas City was when Mecole Hardman had 47-yard kickoff return.
Yes.
And Pertner brought it down to the 20-yard line of the Texans. At that point, I think it was that, and I should say there was also one immediately after, Travis Kelce 25-yard reception or 35-yard reception. I'm sorry, down to the 10, 12-yard line. Those two plays, I think, got everybody on the Chiefs sideline to exhale and say, "Okay, hang on. It's not a nightmare. We can push through this. Let's just take it one play at a time." And that's what Patrick Mahomes did to everybody on the side. It was right before that kickoff. He told them, "Look, one play at a time, guys. We know who we are. Let's just be who we are. Let's don't do too much." And that is the mantra that you've heard out of that locker room all season. Do your job. Don't do too much. Do your job. Does that phrase sound familiar? It should, because that's what Bill Belichick speaks to his guys, and he's been successful in it for almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So do your job, don't do too much, and that's exactly what we did. And then once they did, the opposite, I think, happened to the Texans. Once Kansas City went down and quick fire scored, the Texans came feeling like, oh, wow, well, they scored. We've got to go down and score because we've got to hold this lead. And that's what I think led to the fifth punt call on the 4th and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, man, credit to Dan Sorensen for making an excellent tackle, which that was his assignment that play, too.
Yep.
His assignment was the running back on that play. And he did exactly what he needed to do, make that great tackle, gave Kansas City a short field. They went down again, and then the pressure was on the Texans.
Yes, it was.
Then it was their turn to worry about doing too much, and that's why you got that fumble on the kickoff, because I've never seen a kick returner run right into a crowd of defenders, but that's exactly what he did. It cost him the ball, and Tristan Thompson, Johnny on the spot, almost took it back to the house.
It not only cost them the ball, but in my opinion, it cost them the game.
I would say that probably wasn't enough to. I would say the point at which it cost them the game was when the Texans tried to go down and score right before the half. And here's why I say this. They knew Kansas City scored with, I think it was like a minute and 20 left to go before half. They knew Kansas City scored, knew Kansas City was getting the ball at the start of the second half. So felt like they had to go down and score. When they failed to kick a field goal and at least put some points on the board, I feel like the Texans went into the locker room not dejected because they were down, but dejected because they let a 24-point lead slip away in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I feel like into the locker room and immediately looked at themselves and said, my God, we just woke the sleeping giant and now they're taking it out on us. Because when they came back, they didn't have the same energy. They saw Deshaun Watson, running for his life on a lot of plays, and a lot of credit to Frank Clark on that. But he was afraid to throw the ball. He was afraid to throw downfield. It didn't help that Will Fuller was being double and sometimes triple covered, and and Deshaun Watson was really needing to make a lot of big plays. And instead of letting the game come, he was trying to go at the game. And I kind of felt like the Texans were pushing a little too hard. And then that, along with the Chiefs' defense being ramped up because, of course, they're playing the lead, and the crowd being back into it and going full throat, I think just ended up being a little too overwhelming for the Texans in the second half. And that's where they got outscored in that second half, 22 to 7.
Talking with Steve Willis as we break down the AFC divisional playoffs. How about the Tennessee Titans going on the road not once but twice? First time into New England, knocking off the defending champions, and then going to Baltimore and knocking them off. Well,
there's a whole lot to be said about this Titans team, their tenacity. And the reason why I say that is gone into the probably two of the most hostile environments you can go into in playoffs. That of course, Foxborough, which is legendary. Brady. Now, I understand that the Patriots offense wasn't what it normally is, especially this time of year. However, it's Foxborough. It's still the Patriots. It's still Tom Brady. You have to get over that. I think Mike Vrabel was the perfect coach to be the one to over that in the playoffs, because Mike Vrabel, of course, a former New England Patriot, played Bill Belichick, played on those Super Bowl teams. He knows what that atmosphere was like. So he had all week to get his guys ready for that. So they went into New England. They knew if we punch them in the mouth and we just keep pushing the ball and keep it out of Tom Brady's hands, that's what we got. That's exactly what they did. They shortened that game up. The Patriots get the ball back in the end of the second half, And the fourth quarter just absolutely belonged to Tennessee, and that's what they needed to do. And they did exactly that, and they were able to control that game. Now, going to Baltimore, this is, the big deal. This is Lamar Jackson, this is Baltimore Ravens. But one thing that a lot of people forgot, this is a team that does not have a lot of playoff experience.
Right.
This is a team that has not played a lot of offenses that are just ridiculously good at running the ball and controlling the clock and keep your team off the field, which is exactly what the Tennessee Titans did. And not to mention the fact they harassed Lamar Jackson worse than I have seen the entire year, maybe save for 4 against the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
This was a phenomenal game plan by Mike Vrabel. Now the question is, can they pull the Triple Crown? Can they go into Arrowhead, the loudest stadium in the league, and play a team that learned that it can put its foot on the gas and score 7 touchdowns in one game? Are they going to be able to? Because I can tell you right now, if they go in thinking all we have to do is run the ball, the Chiefs are strong enough now on that front 7 that they may not stop it, but I think they can slow it down. So they're going to have to be able to play dynamically in all 3 phases. They're going to have to be able to, in their offense, Ryan Tannehill is going to be challenged. He's going to have to come up big. Now, the Chiefs may not have Chris Jones this game, and that's going to be a big benefit for the Titans offense because he won't have that pressure up. However, Derrick Henry did not do well in the first half of because remember, these two teams met earlier in the season. They met in week 6. Derrick Henry did not do in that first half. He had less than 60 yards in the first half of that game. He totaled 160 yards on a Chiefs defense that was still trying to figure itself out, and one play was 70-yard touchdown run. So all told, with the exception of you take one play away, and I don't like really doing that, but you have to. You take that one play away, Derrick Henry only ran 90 yards on that Chiefs defense.
He did.
Minus that one play. And that was the defense that was still trying to find its own under Steve Spagnuolo's new system. Now they're playing like world beaters. Now they're not doing a 100-yard rusher. Now I wonder is Mike Vrabel going to see it and adjust his game theory, or is he going to come in saying, hey, we just feed Derrick Henry, keep control of the clock, win time of possession, keep Patrick Mahomes and Collins off the field? That is what they need to do, but are they going to be able to game plan for it? That's going to be the question.
Let's look at the NFC Championship game, the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. And, of course, I have a 2.5-foot smile on my face because the 49ers are in the NFC Championship for the first time since 2013 when they lost up in Seattle. They won the NFC title the year before, knocking off the Atlanta Falcons on the road. But this is the first time that the 49ers have hosted the NFC title since 1997 when they lost to the same Green Bay Packers. Of course, it was Brett Favre back in Candlestick Park that knocked them off, Aaron Rodgers this time. And I thought of something on the drive home from work today, and I hear a lot of pundits saying, this is a different Packer team than the team that played the 49ers in Week 12. True, I will give you that. But at the same time, it's a different 49er team also for one very good reason. And I mentioned this yesterday when I had Mike debate on. The 49ers are not only playing top-notch defense, they are also healthy.
Yeah, and that is going to be a big factor in this game. The 49ers are looking about the healthiest that they have been since Week 6. So if you look at what Green Bay has been doing in the playoffs, obviously the game against Seattle, I should say, the big play was not necessary, and the reason is Aaron Rodgers is back to getting the ball out quickly. He's back to finding his guys quickly. He's back to trusting his offensive line and back to trusting his running game. Now, that said, he hasn't front four like what San Francisco is going to bring to the table.
Nope.
San Francisco, and I hate to say this because my preseason pick for the Super Bowl was Kansas City and Green Bay, a rematch of Super One,
yes,
which would be perfect for the NFL's 100th year.
Yep.
However, I said that in preseason, and I had no idea what the 49ers were going to be, on this level. Thought they were going to be good. I had no idea they were going to be this good. Now, it is going to be a very, very tough game for Green Bay unless they can control the clock. Really, their run game is going to have to channel its own Derrick Henry, and they're going to have to push the ball up the field in small chunks, wind the clock down, shorten this game, limit opportunities for the 49ers to be able to get to George Kittle and bash and bruise their way into the end zone, and at the same time tire out that defensive front seven, because Aaron Rodgers is going to get chased all night. He is going to be under us all night, so he is going to have to get the ball out quickly. He's going to have to use screens. He's going to have to use a lot of slants. He's going to have to utilize his guys quickly, and that leaves an opportunity to break big plays, but it also leaves an opportunity to make mistakes, because on those quick timing routes, if you mess up, your timing is just a little bit off. Your receiver doesn't get to make his cut, or he gets bumped at the line. You're throwing an interception, and sometimes those go back for 6. So it is going to be a very tough run for Aaron Rodgers, and I think they know. Now, that said, also remember, this is Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
he's not new to the playoffs. This guy's won a Super Bowl. He knows how to win in January. He knows how to get to February. So you have the experience of Aaron Rodgers and the quick thinking and the ability of that offensive line to be able to control the narrative. But then you also have the irresistible object, or irresistible force, I should say, in the 49ers front seven, who can put pressure on anybody and just weaken their, make them one-dimensional, and force mistakes. And that's exactly what the 49ers are going to have to do. Force mistakes, get turnovers if you can, get 3 and outs as many times as you can, stop the Packers from getting any kind of rhythm. And if you can do that, you're going to find an easy road to Miami.
They stopped the Minnesota Vikings from getting any kind of rhythm going, because the Vikings came in on an unbelievable high, knocking off the Saints in New Orleans. And you mentioned something about being a tremendous home favorite. The 49ers were a 7-point favorite against Minnesota last Saturday. And, some of the same loud whispers, from pundits saying the 49ers are going, oh my God, we're a home favorite. We can't mess this up. Well, the first defensive series of the game kind of put everybody, the 49ers team, the coaches, and about 70,000 fans, myself included, at ease.
They certainly did. They looked fantastic. And the Minnesota Vikings came in off of that big win. And I kind of feel like the wind got let out of their sails early, and that it kind of made them start to pick up the attitude of like, well, we saw this coming. The other shoe has finally dropped. Because going into that New Orleans game, they weren't very healthy. Adam Thielen was dealing with an illness. We had Stephon was dealing with he was hampered a little bit. It was not a great feeling going into that game, and New Orleans looked like they were going to win. And then when Minnesota went in and just handled their business, I think they started feeling themselves a little bit. And then when they got in San Francisco, they got punched in the mouth, and they said, "Oh wait, we're coming back on earth, and this is where we are now." And Kirk became the Kirk Cousins that we know in the playoffs, which is the Kirk Cousins that underperforms. So it is what it is. I mean, I hate to say it. I love the guy's attitude and his fighting spirit, but you know, if you don't look at that particular New Orleans game, every bright game that Kirk Cousins has been a part of, any game that has serious pressure, he folds like a lawn chair.
He does.
So I'm sorry. It is. You know, I hate to say that, but the stats don't lie. You know, more interceptions than touchdowns, and less than 50% completions across all of those big games. So, you know, the stats don't lie. But that said, I think it was a good warm-up game for the 49ers, and I think they have a great chance against a Packers team that is, I'm not going to say they're playing over their skis, because I think they're doing exactly what the Packers do in January, except for I kind of feel like if they come into this game and somehow beat the 49ers at home,
which is possible, is very possible.
I honestly think that would surprise me more, the Tennessee Titans beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Yeah. But
I really do.
And this is how I feel. And this is how I feel going into the NFC Championship, you know, and I haven't been this excited about an NFC title game in about 6 years. Like I said, my rooting interest lies with San Francisco, partially with Indianapolis, partially with the Bears, being from Chicago, my hometown. But my entire rooting interest is with the 49ers. I've studied this team all season long, and I don't want to say it's going to be a colossal mismatch, because Green Bay did earn the number 2 seed. You don't earn the number 2 seed for luck or anything like that. You earn the number 2 seed because you are a damn good football ball club under rookie coach Matt LaFleur. But at the same time, there's a part of me that gets the feeling that the game in Santa Clara in Week 12 just might repeat itself. The 49ers are healthy on defense. They are absolutely 100% healthy. Dee Ford is back. Fred Warner's been lights out. Dre Greenlaw has been lights out. Quan Alexander is back. And that front seven is playing at a level, as you said, my friend, that we haven't seen since Week 6. And there's a part of you, I know there's part of me that gets the feeling that as much as I feel this is going to be a fantastic NFC Championship game, and Aaron Rodgers is indeed Aaron Rodgers, I just think he's going to run into a brick wall.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tough game for Green Bay. They're facing an uphill battle, because everything that Green Bay struggles with, the 49ers do well.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's exactly, and that's why I think it is such a mismatch. And so, you know, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to pull off a super effort. Is he capable of that?
Of course. Absolutely. Of course he is.
100% sure.
Absolutely.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers does what his predecessor Brett Favre used to do, pull off Herculean efforts when he's not supposed to. But this time...
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about a quarterback who's walking out of the Green Bay locker room for the last time and going right into the whole thing. Mm-hmm. That's exactly who we're talking about.
Yep.
So can he will his team to win in Santa Clara? That's going to be the big question, and that's what I can't wait to see this week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it either. Steve Willis joining me here on Snowman in the Morning. Steve, when is your show coming back?
It is back, my friend.
Oh, it is?
It is back.
Oh, sweet.
It is. It is. We have the first couple of episodes on, right? You can listen to them anywhere you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spreaker, SoundCloud, wherever. You can even ask your Alexa device to play if you have one of those IoT devices in your house, Amazon Echo. I do it all the time. I'll just tell it, Alexa, play WD60 Sports Talk, and she'll just pop it right up. And I'll get to listen to myself. I only listen for about 5 minutes because that's kind of weird, but that's what I do. And yeah, that's what you have to do. The name of the show is WD60 Sports Talk. It's me and my partner from the Cheap Seats show that we had on XCRS Radio, Steve Herman. He and I do the podcast every week. In fact, we're doing a segment right now. We're doing a 4-part series right now called Over Under. And it's kind of neat because we do the most overrated player and our most underrated player from each team. The first podcast was the AFC East and North. The second podcast was the AFC South and West. And the NFC podcasts are going to be coming up shortly. And we're going to go ahead and lay those out in the next couple of weeks. And, of course, we're going to have a big Super Bowl preview podcast when the games are decided, the championship games. And I'm sure he's a baseball guy. I've really been following the whole Houston Astros thing, so I'm sure we're going to have a podcast on that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of great subject matter coming up here shortly. So definitely go to Apple Podcasts or go to SoundCloud or go to Spotify. Find the show. Click and save it as a favorite. You'll get a notification every time a new episode comes up. We try one once a week. And, of course, you can follow us on social media. You can follow me. I am on Twitter. I'm at _Willis76. You can find us still on Facebook, the old Facebook page. We still use it. It's the Cheap Seats with Steve. We have a new thing, poll question of the week, where we ask poll questions, and we've got a new one that's going to be starting up probably this week. So we got all kinds of stuff going on. I've been a busy boy. Just because I'm not on live radio anymore, I'm still a busy boy.
I know. First time I had a chance to talk sports with this young man, 2014, when I was down in Indianapolis covering the Class 1A state championship game for basketball. And he and I have been friends since.
Yep, good times, man. And yep, I've been following your success and of course, your new life and your married life. You're being a married man now, and
I am.
I'm so ecstatic for you, and I feel terrible for her because she's got to put up with you. but I digress.
Look, she puts up with my goofiness just as I put up with her goofiness, so it is great either way, man.
Well, anyhow, it's really good to be able to get back and do this again and get the voice out there and get the opinions out there. And we've set up a few, interviews. We've got, we're coming up here. We'll both be doing a podcast with, the Toronto Blue Jays, head, David May Jr. Of course, his brother and father both played in the majors, and, David May Sr. and, what else we got going on? J.J. Burden, former wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs for many years. He and I will be sitting down recording a podcast soon, so watch out. So, we've got all kinds of cool stuff coming.
Oh, man, I can't wait. And I can't wait to be a part of your podcast also, and it's good to have you back on the show, my man.
Oh, hey, absolutely, man. Anytime we'll sit down and can one, and I'll get it out there for the whole world. It'll be fantastic.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the time, my friend.
All right. Anytime.
Gonna take a break. Back in a flash.